You want to level up a Fury Werewolf, and you kind of want to know what's happening up until you get to the point where you actually have everything you need. Right now my character is level 33. You can kind of see my stats right here. I do a lot of focus on strength, just to try to get that up so I could use the weapons that I'm going to need. Right now I have the maul on, I'll go over that in just a second. Dexterity is a little important just because you can get your, you kind of need your attack rating. Fallen is weird that it's showing that, but whatever. Vitality is going to be your end-all save-all. This is a hardcore character, so the more health you have, the more you are not going to die. Not dying is good. Resistances are, of course, always important as well. Right now I'm kind of lacking in fire resistance, so kind of makes some things a little bit hard to tackle, but... So, of course, you're going to want to start putting points in the werewolf. It's going to help you a lot with getting the attack rating up as well as your attack speed. As far as lycanthropy goes, it's going to give you a little bit more, well, when I say a little bit, it's like increments of 5 kind of thing for your max health, and then the longer time that you're in werewolf. Duration is surprisingly important. Well, not surprisingly, because if you're in a group of enemies and suddenly, boom, you pop out of it, it can actually lead to a lot of stress. But Feral Rage is going to be another one that you're going to want to focus quite a bit on. I love it a lot because, of course, it gives you that extra lifesteal. Right now, with 9 points into it, 8 points, but I have items that kind of boost it a little bit. I'll go over the items in just a second. It's going to give you that 100% attack rating, more walk and run speed, lifesteal 4 to 44, and more damage as well. At level 30 is when you do unlock Fury. You got to put 1 point into Rabies no matter what you do, and you're going to be able to get your 5 attacks. That's where it's going to cap out. A long time ago, back when Zeal Paladin was a pretty good thing that I liked, it would go all the way to 20 attacks or 21 attacks or whatever, and you would just sit there for an hour and a half attacking, and then, maybe die if you're in hell because of it. But that's going to help with your attack rating as well as your damage too. As far as summoning goes, Oak Sage is something that I just throw a point into to start off with. That's going to give you a little bit more life. In hardcore, I typically like to have this more than I like to have Heart of the Wolverine, just because survivability is very, very important. Of course, Heart of the Wolverine is going to help you with your attack rating and your damage as well. As far as actually playing with the group, a lot of people like this one a lot. I haven't really gone too deep into my actual summons yet, as far as animal companions, stuff like that. But typically you're going to want to go down this list a little bit, pop a few points into Summon Direwolf, a couple points here to, well, spread out there, and then get a Summon Grizzly as well, just to have another character to kind of take a little bit of aggro off of you. If you do want to go Vines, I always recommend the Carrion Vine. Just give you a little bit more health generation, always a good thing to have. Go ahead and jump into what I got for my items here. So, I love the maul. A lot of people are going to go one-handed weapon and a shield, especially later on, which is cool. It's perfectly fine to do that, but as far as leveling up, I like to get a maul as quickly as possible. I usually start with a broad axe as fast as I can. Here, let me show you one real quick. I got a little bit lucky. These are going to be really good, very fast attack speed. It's going to help you when you don't have Fury, so you can just pop off with Feral Rage. Like I was kind of going over, you definitely are going to want your maul. I do. It's because it's going to give you that extra damage. Items, very, very, very important, of course. I love Sanders Taboo early on. It gives you that extra 20% increased attack speed, a little bit more defense and health. The poison damage is near me, whatever, you know what I mean? You always want to upgrade your belt, just so you can hold a little bit more of the good old potions. As far as my rings go, I got lucky. This one's okay, but this one, the main thing I like about that is that mana steal. I don't have any points put into energy, so this is really going to help you constantly have mana so you can use Fury. If you do not have mana when you're using Fury, you will not attack. So that's why I always have Feral Rage in my right click. Because if you are out of mana, you're fine. He'll still attack with that one at least. As far as the helmet goes, you always want to try to find the best one for the build that you're going, what you want to focus on. This isn't the best one by any means. This is okay. It's just +1, the shape-shifting skills kind of helps out a little bit, and then I just got a little bit of Magic Find. As far as what I have in my stash, Magic Find has... I actually got a couple Magic Find items, 21% there on those boots. I always leave them off because 7 durability. I don't want to just waste them. Then of course another 21 there, 8 there, 15 there, and then that right there. I do have some fire resist items, but whatever. These are just kind of set into the side for shared, in case this character does go down. But you can get some pretty good stuff. This is all done on normal difficulty. I'm not in Nightmare yet. I kind of like to do a little slow go for it. As far as my charms go, I like to have something that gives me cold damage. Just a little bit of cold damage just to get that cold off of them. I think the more cold damage you do, the more they're likely to slow down and freeze. But still, this is pretty good. Strength is also, a good charm to have just to kind of boost those stats up a little bit so you're more accessible to, well, you can have actual items because you need 69 here for the Maul, and the Great Maul is going to be 99 strength. So, it's kind of important to boost that up. As far as leveling up and everything, before I found this and got lucky, I was using stealth just to give myself a little bit more, walk rate. So I can, run, really. I don't really ever walk, but, running faster is always a good thing. I did it in chainmail just to give myself some extra defense, everything like that. As far as a mercenary goes, I mean, this is probably going to change a later game, as you get in the Nightmare and Hell kind of stuff. But early on, I'm a huge fan of the Act 3 caster that does the cold damage, just because you do get a little bit of freezing that happens. That's going to help a lot with crowd control. With Fury, the 5 attacks really actually does quite a bit if your DPS is high enough. So you're able to kind of burn things down, get enough life steal going, get that mana steal going. That way you can kind of just keep your health up that way. But having a little bit of crowd control is always a good thing to do. As far as items for him go, I had him with stealth for a while, but then I got my hands on this guy right here, so I just kind of threw that on him. You always want them to have good stuff, but as you're leveling, you kind of have to hope for the best. In hardcore, you die, you lose everything. So it's not like you can have like a item set aside at all times no matter what, because if I died, I lose everything I have, and he loses everything he has, Unless you have a friend that's in the same game that can pick up all the gear and give it back to you. But yeah, that's kind of it. You kind of want to hope for the best when it comes to your weapon. I kind of did a little bit of gambling to get them all up. If you can, try to look at the rune words. I highly recommend. Stealth is a good way to start. If you don't have a two-handed weapon, steel is a good kind of intro as far as rune words go that I recommend. And well, yeah, hopefully this helps. If kind of get a little view of exactly what you got going on for a Fury Werewolf. If you have anything else to say or anything else I missed or something you want to add yourself, let me know. Take it easy.